Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andrew, and thank you so much for being here. It's so wonderful of you to join me today. It's great to have you. And today, I'm bringing you a new video. It's been another span of 2 months since I posted my last video, which is such a long time, and it's so sad that it's been so long. But I'm so happy to bring you a new video today. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking at you a little bit, and so if you would rather not listen to me talk for so long, feel free to skip past all of that. I'm going to put a timestamp in a pinned comment so that you can click ahead to the music if you would like to hear that. Feel more than free to do that. But for those of you who would like to listen to me talk, I have a few things I want to tell you about, and it's been a little over 2 months since I've posted a video on YouTube, and usually I come up with some sort of excuse as to school has been really stressful, or some sort of thing where there's events or just being busy that have held me up from making another video. But this time, that's not really what's been going on. I haven't really been super busy or super stressed with school or events or anything like that. And usually I don't talk very much about what's going on in my personal life here on the channel. This channel is mostly just kind of dedicated to musical content. That's what I love to do here on YouTube, and a lot of people love it, and that's awesome. And I want to keep making musical content, but in some of my more recent videos, I have discovered that I actually really like talking to the camera and saying stuff. I'm not very good at it, but I really enjoy doing it, and I kind of want to do it more, and I kind of want to talk about stuff. And so I'm going to do a little bit of that in this video, and that I may do some more of that in future videos. And I have some possible thoughts of starting a second channel where I devote much more time to just talking and not so much music over there. That's up in the air still, but I will definitely advertise that if it becomes a reality for anyone who actually is interested in that, which you may not be, and that's totally fine. All the talking I want to do today, I kind of am tying it into, I'm finding some relevance to the music that I'd like to share with you today, and just kind of talking about my life and sort of what has been going on for the last season, if you will. Season, I mean that sort of more in a figurative sense. Most of you who watch my channel know that I am a student at the Curtis Institute of Music, which is a very small music institute. It's a conservatory in Philadelphia, and it's known as one of the more prestigious music schools in the United States. We have, I think, maybe a 4% acceptance rate, and it's fairly competitive and exclusive and all that stuff, which of course, I mean, it's what you make of it. There are so many wonderful musicians and wonderfully successful artists who come out of schools that don't have that kind of prestige, and it's because they put in the work. They really wanted to be great at what they did, and so it's not quite so much about what school you go to, but what you make of your time there. So I'm trying to do my best to make the best of my time at Curtis, which has been difficult for the last while. And as I mentioned, I think there was a video I made some time back in October-ish, where I may have mentioned that we have been completely virtual at Curtis, and that has been going on now since March of 2020. And the music that I'm going to share with you today is a project that I did for a class that I was enrolled in this semester, And it's sort of, it was something creative and fun that I could put together. I decided to do the Mendelssohn Nocturne from A Midsummer Night's Dream, which is a French horn solo. It's an excerpt that all of us horn players learn, and it's beautiful. But that excerpt is also has it's a chorale basically. It has also bassoons, and the second horn comes in a little bit, and the clarinet comes in a little bit, and it's just this beautiful harmonious chorale. And what I decided to do was just kind of rifle through the score and play all of those parts on horns. And then I used video editing magic to clone myself, so to speak, and make there be like 4 of me sitting next to each other, which is kind of fun. And it was that was a cool project to do. But that has projects like that have kind of defined our lives. All of us Curtis students, and a lot of us who are students of conservatories in general lately, it's kind of what it's been like for us. Where we are not performing live music, we're making recordings, and that's kind of standing in for our live performance. And except for a few occasions where I have gotten the opportunity to play at my church over the last few months, by and large I've been playing my horn in this room, which is my bedroom, and it's very small, and it gets a little bit dull playing in that same space, playing to a microphone or whatever, day in and day out. It's not so exciting anymore. And I think a lot of us are feeling this way, where it's kind of caused us, our passion for music and sharing the joy of music with people and glorifying God through music, and sharing that in a very tangible way with people. We aren't really seeing ways of doing that anymore. It's kind of, there's sort of a sense of purposelessness that is coming with this now. And so last school year, which was the 2019-2020 school year, we had about 75% of a normal school year, and right before we got shut down because of COVID, our orchestra, the Curtis Symphony Orchestra, went on tour, and at the very end of our tour we performed at Carnegie Hall in New York City. And that performance was on February 8th, 2020. And that was the last time the Curtis Symphony Orchestra ever performed. And that was the last time I've ever performed with an orchestra. That was almost 16 months ago, which is a really long time. And now I kind of don't even really remember what it's like to play in an orchestra, to be honest with you. And that's a very sad feeling. And so for a lot of us Curtis students, and I think conservatory students, and just professional musicians across the US and across the globe, for a lot of us who are so isolated, we're not doing very well these days. And doing school completely virtually for an entire school year, I kind of wanted to power through at the beginning, starting this past fall of 2020. And I took more classes, and I tried to, get stuff done. And even though I was taking less classes than I had ever taken up to that point, because as this year was my 3rd year of study, the course load drops a little bit as you progress into your later years. And so even though I was taking less classes, it actually felt heavier. It actually felt like more work, and it was more stressful than it was when I was at school in person, which was a very strange thing. But it's something, sort of by virtue of being in this room, spending so much time in one room and not really leaving the house that much, and virtual. This idea of virtual performance and virtual school. It just, the word virtual, to me, what really jumps out to me, what does that word even mean? To me, it means pretend. It's pretend. It's not real. What we're doing isn't real anymore. And that's a lot of what this feels like. It's just not very real. And so during the whole fall semester, I was battling a lot of mental health issues, a lot of depression, and that made me want to cut back on my workload for the spring semester, but that actually didn't end up helping that much. And now, over the last 2 months or so, sort of what's been holding me back from producing any more content for fun on YouTube, which this is a fun thing for me. This is something that I just enjoy for the sake of enjoying it, and other people enjoy it too, so that makes it completely worth it across the board. But dealing with a lot of, just mental health issues and, a lot of emotional pain in my personal life centered around relationships of various kinds, and also just kind of feeling extremely disconnected in general. That has really sapped my motivation to do creative stuff and to make music. And I've ended up feeling kind of purposeless in all of this. This has become quite a ramble, and I apologize for all of this randomness that I'm kind of been throwing at you, but my hopes in sharing this is, for any musicians watching this, or any artists, or anyone watching this who've been feeling similarly as a result of all of the shutdown and lockdown and things in our lives changing due to a global crisis. My hope is that this makes you feel validated, makes you feel heard, and makes you feel that you're not alone, in your struggles. And this is also just really helpful for me just to get this out and to just say it. I'm a very emotionally driven person, but I tend to be very private about my own struggles and my own feelings, and I tend to not actually verbalize it very often. So it really helps to just kind of get it out there, and that's something that I want to do a little bit more, just sort of as a release. And so all of that to say, we've been doing a lot of recorded projects at Curtis this year, including this one that I'm about to show you, and I hope you enjoy it. Just a little excerpt from Mendelssohn, Midsummer Nights Dream. And with that, I'll leave you to the music, and I hope that you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, or morning or evening or whatever time it is. Or if it's the middle of the night, I hope that you're having a wonderful night. And I hope that this maybe makes you feel heard and validated, and that we're not alone, and God is still good, and He has a plan for us. And thank you so much for joining me for this very random ramble of a video, and I will see you next time.